Can you believe it has been a year and a half since my last upload? It blows my mind, you guys. So much has changed. So much has happened in my life. I'm kind of coming back with a fresh perspective on minimalism that I am so excited to tell you about. But first, let's talk about kind of what's been going on, what I've been up to this last year and a half. In my last video, I talked about some health-related concerns where I had this really burning skin. I think I mentioned it back then, and I was losing all of my hair. That's kind of the last update I gave you. And then I left, and I didn't even mean to. That's the crazy thing. I didn't mean to step away from YouTube. It just naturally happened. So let me just catch you up though, that I dealt with intense, pretty chronic pain for about 8 months, and it made it really hard not only to keep up on decluttering, keep up on minimalism, but also to film YouTube videos. I was really struggling with being in so much pain. I'm better now. I'm not 100%, but I am better, and I feel so much more motivated to get back to some routines in my house. Get back to decluttering, get back to kind of my new vision, my new idea of minimalism. You guys, I've been running a preschool out of my house as well, and that has really shifted kind of my perspective on minimalism, on decluttering. My threshold has had to shift out of necessity. I have not been able to kind of follow my own strict rules that I've had in place for the past several years on keeping a home minimal, on keeping everything like kind of up to this black and white standard that I was really following and honestly preaching to you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's not the season of life I'm in anymore. After dealing with chronic pain and then shifting the way I use my home has completely transformed the way that I am approaching minimalism, the way that I'm thinking about simplifying. My routines look so different now. I am so excited to share all of that with you. For me, minimalism just feels a little bit more lived in for me. I think it's probably been about 6 to 6.5 years that I've been kind of following a more simplified regimen, a little bit more simplified lifestyle. And it's honestly been so exciting to see how it really can just change with you through life's seasons. So I just had a bunch of little kids when I started this journey of minimalism decluttering. And now I have a high schooler. My youngest is going into 2nd grade. Things are just different. My family rhythm is different. And so that means my routines look different. Running the preschool out of my home has been absolutely the most fun and chaotic thing I could have ever imagined. But it has, like I said, had to change my threshold for clutter. So here is my upstairs loft. And before, I used it as kind of an entertainment zone for my older kids, my family in general. My youngest used it too. So we all kind of enjoyed this living space. It has had to completely transform into an education zone, a teaching area. Here's the catch. The preschool looks very contained right now, but it has spilled over into so many other areas of my house. My basement is now totally full of preschool educational materials, toys, and then my linen closet, that area has been completely transformed into a preschool supplies closet. So I've kind of lost storage there for just random, regular, everyday home and life stuff. And then it's also spilled over into my master closet. Now, my intention going into the preschool was to keep it very minimal, very streamlined and pared down. But what I soon learned is that teaching a multiple variety of ages, also teaching children with different interests, has kind of required me to expand my supplies. Let's just say that. Expand my curriculum, and it has been so much fun to be able to do that, but it has also really taken over, as you can see, a significant at least a portion of my house. Here's what I did not do. I did not then continue to declutter more and more and more and more and more in the other areas of my home to kind of balance out or overcompensate for these areas that were really taken over by the preschool. I let myself just live my life alongside my family with a regular amount of stuff, what I considered just our standard amount of stuff. I did not strip the house down to the bones, is what I'm trying to say. So basically, my house has been really, really over my original clutter threshold for a couple of years now, and it's forced me to look at minimalism differently, to approach it differently. And that is where kind of my channel is going to be starting back up again. Minimalism is lived in at this point for me. I've experienced it for several years, and I've kind of gone through a wave of different phases of life, different jobs, different health limitations, and different ages of kids. And so because of that, I have kind of a unique perspective, and I'm approaching it differently now. This is going to be lived in minimalism. This is going to be daily rhythms that are not perfect. This is going to be not so black and white. I'm living more in the gray zone of minimalism now. And to be honest, it has its ups and downs. We're going to talk all about that. I see pros and cons. I can see the benefit of just living with very, very little inventory, but it also, I found, has come at a bit of a cost, not only for me, but my family. So let's talk about all of that, and let's just go through this new phase of my life together. I'm actually ending the preschool this month. We're going to be totally done, and I'm going to be shifting. My home is going to be rotating once again. All the preschool stuff is going to be sold or donated, and I'm going to be using these spaces differently. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to rotate and utilize the spaces in my home for our current phase of life. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye.